Thank you for helping us at the Amber Institute.
Thank you for helping us build it. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so far what we've been talking about is what's going on, God? What's going on, God? Alright, so everybody knows pretty much this is breast cancer month. So we've been on an estrogen fast all month to help with the breast cancer situation, prostate health, uterus health, etc. In our collective movement called the conscious movement, even though it's a little unconnected or uncollective. We put a lot of plans together in terms of what we need to do economically, what we need to do, just the different ideologies that we have to try to get ahead and get out of the situation we're in. My contribution is health, because I don't think we're going anywhere without that intact. You know, 100 years ago it was easy to see or easy to think that we needed an economic solution. Now we have more millionaires. You know, we got money right now. The top 20 rappers got $20 billion. You know what I mean? Like, money is not the issue. All right, we got NBA players, basketball players. We done had rock and roll stars, etc., etc. Lotto, people hit the lotto for 5, 10 million. Like, it's getting money is not the issue. What to do with the money when we get it, and living long enough to enjoy it are the main issues. We're not living long enough to enjoy our money. So my thing is health. This month we're dealing with the cancer. And in specific today, I want to talk about some things. You can hit the, no, leave it like that. All right. Hit the first. Now, I want y'all to follow me for a second, because although cancer affects us all, my main concentration is the black woman. All right? And so I want to show you a trend that's going on right now. And it is kind of inflammatory, but if we don't have these conversations, nobody else is. Right? So I want y'all to see something that y'all, to see something, a running theme in these pictures real quick. Okay. Hit the next one. Hold on. Hit the next one. Hold on. Hit the next one. Hit the next one.
I already know.
Hit the next one. Hit the next one. Hit the next one. Hit the next one. Now this is our sister though. So this is the transition from Europeans to our sisters. Hit the next one. Hit the next one. Get the next one. So who sees a problem with those pics?
Basically, wearing tights to protect circulation.
No.
The white women having bigger butts, and the black women getting smaller butts.
Correct. That's a big problem health-wise, because your butt, first of all, your thighs and your gluteus make up the largest muscle group on your body. That's where the majority of the electrical activity happens outside of your brain. All right? Your thighs have a direct connection through your sciatic nerve to the pineal gland. All right? So that's what they talked about in the Bible. So maybe some of us are familiar with Jacob wrestling with the angel. That's where the first time the word pineal was used. All right? And the angel grabbed his thigh and they called it pineal. All right? So biologically, there's a connection directly from there to the pineal gland. And what that's talking about is your overall health. Your overall health. We're not going to get too deep into the Bible today. I know it's Sunday, but this is a big problem because we see this on a carnal level and we don't pay attention. We see this on a carnal level and we don't pay attention, but this is directly associated with our sisters leading the country in hysterectomies, antidepressant medications, because if you are not self-esteem, if your self-esteem is not sound, nothing else you do in life is going to be sound. You're not going to be able to articulate. You're not going to be able to function well in your household. You're not going to be able to function well at the job. Nothing else is going to work for you if you don't feel good about yourself, period. So this is something we have to deal with. Our sisters are also the #1 purchasers of these guys, the fake butt pads. They're also holding up the business on butt injections. So how do we get there from having the best genetic stock on the planet? How do we get there from that point? See, that's where my interest is at. How do we go from the prime genetic real estate to slumlords? This is something we got to address. And on one handle, we could say, well, you know, white girls is fake. We could say that. If I go to Planet Fitness, they in there 10-to-1. Every one sister is 10 white girls in there working like there's no tomorrow. When we go down to Essenes, every black person, period, is 10 white folks in there shopping. And the opposite is happening at bottom dollar. I don't even see no white folks in bottom dollar. So how we take care of ourselves directly affects our health and our outlook and our survival. Because we may not be here another 100 years if this continues. Genetically, white folks are switching places with us. They're giving us their garbage inheritance and they're absorbing our inheritance genetically. That's the whole game of stem cell research. A stem cell is not something that exists inside of somebody's body naturally. A stem cell only comes about after they take a black blood cell, a black germ cell from out of somebody's body and clone it. Once they can clone it, then that becomes a stem cell because the laws exist on the books. I got you. I know you got questions already. The laws exist on the books that says that you can't patent and license a part of somebody's body. But once you clone it, now you created it with your own hands, you can patent and license that. So that's a stem cell. But the point where that becomes a black conversation is that nobody else's cells have the integrity to withstand the cloning process. So anytime you hear stem cells, they talking about black cells. They're talking about black cells. So then where does that go, Minister EnQi? How does that relate to hysterectomies? Well, 80% of the women that are having full and partial hysterectomies don't have informed consent. 99% of them never even heard the term informed consent. All right? That's the law set in place so that you don't go into a hospital with a headache and wake up missing a liver. You have to have a conversation with the doctor and say, listen, I would allow you to do this. I won't allow you to do that. Blah, 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 blah. But we go in there and we sign all them papers. It'd be a nice little thick stack. We sign all them joints. Nobody knows what's on them papers. We didn't sign away. Nobody knows the laws governing emergency room protocol versus making an appointment and coming around the opposite end of the hospital. That protocol. When you come in the emergency room, your case is automatically deemed an emergency. In 1996, they passed a law that says the doctors in an emergency situation can do whatever they deem fit without consulting you. All right. Sound aggressive from the back. So, we go into the emergency room and we lay down because we have a headache and we wake up with half a uterus. Although it's borderline illegal, it's our fault because we're not getting the information. And a lot of times, to me, that's a self-esteem issue because we don't love ourselves enough to make sure that we investigate every small thing that's being put in us, put on us, being done to us, everything. That's a self-esteem issue to me. Because big money is being generated. So we're gonna go a little further and see, but big money is being generated off your body and your body parts. So to me, it's a problem when sisters are scraping up money, because they don't really understand what they're doing, but they're scraping up money, and the ball, to get an abortion, right? So we're not going to deal with the moral issue. They're scraping up money, $350, $500, depending on the week, you know. I ain't gonna say how I know that, right? But so she go down, she pays them to take out the fetus, and now they turn around, chop that fetus up, and they sell all them body parts. They might make $200,000 off that fetus. But we running around, we can't pay our cell phone bill. We giving away money.
I was going to ask you now, is that the same thing with the placenta?
Absolutely.
Another thing I wanted to ask, when you talked about that, I've done some research myself. Some people actually cook the fetuses.
And eat them, yes. We're not going to do that today. But yes, they do. They cook the fetuses, they eat them. In fact, now in the delivery room, so that is something that we have to think about though. We live in a cannibal society. We colonized by cannibals. So inside of colonialism is conversion. When I colonize a group of people, I want that group of people to adopt all of my practices. So nothing that I'm doing looks strange. So that they don't wake up and move themselves out of those practices. All right? So a part of colonialism is converting you to, that's why there was an Inquisition. Who we say is God is God. If you disagree, we got a spot for you. Strange fruit. You know? So even right now in the delivery room, they're encapsulating the placenta and telling the mothers that they should eat the placenta if they want to grow their hair and their nails. Oh, it's a good vitamins. You're going to grow your hair and your nails. Just eat the placenta, you know, don't worry about that.
You mentioned that in your book?
Maybe, one of the books. I don't know. Maybe in the Melanin Mind State. But, and so even if we just thought for a minute about that, we'd be able to see through it with common sense. Because the placenta is made out of the woman. The woman makes the placenta. So any minerals that she's missing are also missing from the placenta. So you're not going to get anything out of eating your own placenta nutrition-wise, because it's you. But we so crazy. We so crazy. We running down to the beauty supply. They selling us placenta down there. Whose placenta you selling you? Oh, I rub it in my hair. You know, my shampoo, the placenta is good because it grew my hair, girl. Okay. And the crazy thing is Muslims be eating placenta. People's Muslims, and they eat placenta. Christians, they eat placenta. You can't practice organized religion without the dietary regimen that's in there. All these organized religions got a dietary regimen. So it bugs me out. I'm an ordained minister. I go to churches and speak, and at the end of the church, it's chicken and macaroni and cheese in the back. I get in the front of the room, they look at me like I'm crazy. They be like, somebody flip open the Bible. They got their Bible? All right, good. Show me the part where there's macaroni and cheese on the dietary. Oh, that's not funny, minister. You playing with the Bible. Am I playing with the Bible or you playing with the Bible? All right, so a little vocabulary for those taking notes. All right, just some things that I want to, that I think would help when we inside these institutions and the scientific jargon just kind of goes over our head, and we got that little adult thing that kicks in / ego that makes us want to pretend like we know what we're talking about, even though we don't know what we're talking about, so we just go along with it like, oh, okay. Oh, so what you said, doctor? Oh, okay. Oh, all right, cool, all right. I just wanted to make sure that you let me know, all right. We don't know what they're talking about, all right? Pyrogenes. These are chemicals released by bacteria and white blood cells, or viruses and white blood cells. Cations and anions. Also, this will be on the DVD, so if you're not taking notes, that's fine, it'll be on the DVD. Positive and negative ions. Very simple, all right? Endogenous and exogenous, internal and external, okay? So endogenous means it's from the inside. Exogenous means it's external. All right, so when we have different chemicals released in the body, sometimes they're classified based on where they come from. So if you're looking at, for example, pyrogenes, all right, endogenous pyrogenes will come from white blood cells. Exogenous will come from viruses or bacteria. All right, they still have the same function in the body, all right, which should let you know the relationship between white blood cells and viruses. All right, leukocytosis. White blood cell production. Now the reason I have non-digestive here is because we produce a lot of leukocytes, white blood cells, with our diet. All right? So when you eat a healthy food, you produce nice, healthy red blood cells through your intestine. But on the flip side of that, when you eat ice cream and chicken and macaroni and cheese, you go through digestive leukocytosis, which is the production of a lot of white blood cells throughout your intestines. All right? And that's followed by the itis, right? But there's a scientific process that's taking place when we feel that itis kick in. All right? That's the overwhelming of your body with white blood cells and your body shutting down every external process that it can, so that it could focus all its energy on getting rid of all the toxins you just put in it. All right, so when you eat a nice, good meal, you're not supposed to feel sluggish and tired and have to take a nap. You're not supposed to be knocked out. Food's supposed to give you energy, so that's a key, even if you don't understand none of this stuff. You can just sit down and eat some food and figure out whether you're supposed to eat it again. That's how animals do it. They don't have classes with Minister EnQi in the forest. All right? They take their chances. They sniff it. They taste it. Okay, it's bitter. All right, so that means a high mineral content. All right, now they ate it. They get sluggish and sleepy and almost unconscious afterwards. Okay, we don't eat from this tree again. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. All right, we haven't got that down pat yet. We do the same thing. Only thing is we on the opposite. It make us sluggish and sleepy. It's like, whoo, that was crazy. Y'all was knocked out. That was only $6. I gotta go back there. No, I got y'all. I'm gonna bring everybody I know here. Everybody I know is coming here. You crazy? You get the crazy big plate. Like it was $6, son. You put like 4 pieces of fish on there with the macaroni. No, it was crazy. All right, so the programming. One of the things I say about the internet is it's beautiful. I love the internet. Also, although it does have its dangerous aspect to it. Because so many of us, hold on, let me get us, okay, here we go. All right. Because so many of us watch the internet, and what we see on the internet we take for face value. So we don't think, like we just become a forgetful people. I'll put it like that. We just become a very forgetful people. And what I mean by that is, We already had Marcus Garvey, right? We had Noble Drew Ali. We had Martin Luther King. We had Malcolm X. And for those of us that didn't live throughout those times, we had Tupac. And so what's the running theme with all of those gentlemen? They represented black power in America, and their movements were very heavily infiltrated by government organizations. They got the pictures, hip-hop cops and all that, where they showed how the cops and the feds was following Tupac around and all his things that he was trying to do with uniting the gangs in the jails and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then somehow we think that we could put together these meetings like this and there's no federal attention. We online talking about Obama and Illuminati and da-da-da-da-da-da, and we think nobody's watching. We forget that. COINTELPRO still exists. It's just the way they work, the way they clock in for a day's work has changed. So they don't have to disguise themselves and come sit down in the group. They just gotta go on Facebook. We see what all y'all niggas talking about. You go on YouTube, watch a video. I don't have to do anything tricky to get your information. You put it on YouTube. So they put counter information up on YouTube. So while we watching Jordan Maxwell and Alex Jones, who keep us distracted, because Jordan Maxwell and Alex Jones do not believe in black power. Nothing that they're teaching is going to push forward a black agenda. Those are still Europeans at the end of the day. Jordan Maxwell pledges allegiance to Helen Blavatsky. So while we're putting a lot of faith in that kind of stuff, the stuff that we need to be paying attention to is slipping under the radar. When I go to different places, especially when I was letting people know, okay, I'm getting ready to go to Chicago, everybody was like, oh man. And then one time me and Ali went out to Chicago for 4 days. The whole thing was, why y'all brothers is not talking about the gang violence? I'm like, dude, you gotta do the numbers, right? Everybody listen to Jay-Z, but even when he says something sharp, they miss it. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Every year in America is 11,000 murders due to guns. 11,000 homicides, give or take a few. Only about 4,000 or 5,000 of those are gang related. And that's spread out through the whole country. It's almost 1 million people get killed by doctors every year. Almost 1 million. So I'm worried about the 1 million. I'm not worried about the 4,000. See, but the media direct our attention because the media is paid for by the same pharmaceutical companies that's killing people. Every single medication come out, 6 months later, it's a guarantee you're going to see the commercial. Have you or your family members been taking Zinvaxidil?
Yes.
You may be due to damages due to high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke. All exactly. So by then, everybody that took it is dead, so they know their risk is leveraged. Because it's not that many people that could put a claim in, because now you got to produce a body. You got to produce a body. You got to produce a body, and you got to produce a body with an autopsy. We're not there. A lot of us ain't even at that level yet. So, all right. So I'm gonna go for it. But this stuff we gotta have in our mind. All right. So, leukocytosis, white blood cell production, inflammation. All right. The 5 cardinal stages of inflammation. Inflammation is very important because they make inflammation seem like it's something that you can flag off. And inflammation is what kills most people that's dealing with disease. So we know diabetes, type 2 diabetes anyway, tearing black folks up. But most of them die from inflammation. They don't die from sugar. It's not like a sugar attack they have. They're dying from inflammation. Between 60 and 70% of all type 2 diabetics die from heart failure. That's due to inflammation. All right? Calor, rubor, tumor, which is what we're going to discuss today, the tumor, dolor, and functio laesa. All right, these are the Latin terms that they use to keep you boxed out of the information. Calor just means fever or heat. Rubor means redness. So you got fever, redness, tumor, which is swelling or growth. Dolor means pain, and functio laesa means loss of function. Alright, so this stuff get real easy when you understand what the white folks talking about. Alright, so you ask yourself the question, and the obvious is true. Why would they be using a foreign language to talk about something that you're supposed to understand? Keep you boxed out. Alright, 5 steps of inflammation. Now this is important in terms of our cancer conversation. Alright, this is very important in terms of our cancer conversation. In fact, if we get these 5 steps of inflammation down, we'll understand the whole cancer process. Alright, so the first step of inflammation is a foreign entity entering your body. That's the first step of inflammation. A foreign bacteria or virus enters your body. Alright, at that point, the white blood cells, the little cannibals in your body, mobilize and they try to eat what just came in. Alright, not to protect you, but to protect their food source. Alright, so the white blood cells mobilize and they try to go eat the foreign agent. Alright, in fact I got a diagram, so I'll go through it at the diagram. But then there's a conflict. Alright, so you got a conflict between the white blood cells, the foreign agents, and your natural body skin cells and melanocytes and things of that nature. Then you have the duration of the conflict. Alright, if the conflict is not over soon, you'll go from acute inflammation to chronic inflammation. And then the cleanup, which is the healing process. Alright, now this is very important that we need to understand. This is a big part of the whole blinders that we all wear. Alright, so if you can't get anything else today, alright, I know the men gonna remember the fat butts, but forget the butts. If you can't get anything else today, get this. Alright, a virus is nothing but DNA or RNA. DNA or RNA. All of the cells in your body except for the red blood cells have what? DNA, RNA. Alright? That's all a virus is. And DNA and RNA are also proteins. Alright? And these proteins, this makes up flesh. Alright? So, how is that important? Alright. Let's talk about the flu virus, for instance. Let's talk about where these viruses come from. All of these different viruses come from domesticated animals that we live with. Alright? All of these come from domesticated animals. This is a natural response to colonization of animals. So it's not only that people are supposed to be free, but the animals supposed to be free and the plants supposed to be free. See, everybody's under slavery now. White folks got everybody in the headlock. Alright, so all of the kingdoms on this planet is upset with us because we're supposed to be here keeping everything on lockdown, making sure it runs smoothly. Then we got our butt whipped by the white boy, and now the white boy done put everybody else in the chokehold. The water is done, the air is done, everything is in trouble. Alright, so there's natural mechanisms in place to defend the animals from people. So when you look at the different flus or the different viruses, even some of the cancers, which is what we're going to deal with, you're starting with virus. Alright? You start with a virus. When you have inflammation, you start with a virus, a bacteria. And the viruses come from animals. Alright? So you have the swine flu, the avian flu. The avian flu is the most prevalent right now. So if you're eating chicken, alright, you need to make that connection. When they say avian, they mean bird. Domesticated bird. There's no bird that's more domesticated than the chicken. Alright? So now, when you cook chicken, they got you under the presumption that when you cook some meat, if you cook it to a certain temperature, you can kill all the viruses and the bacteria, correct? Okay. Now, if we understand that DNA and RNA is virus, there's no part of the chicken that is not the virus. part of the chicken is the virus. Because a virus is simply foreign DNA or RNA that's in your body. Period. So anytime you have foreign DNA or RNA in your body, that's a virus. So if you have DNA or RNA that comes from chickens, cows, snakes, you name it, fish, that is a virus, period. Now, if the strange virus has not killed anybody yet, it's just not documented. But viruses don't mean to kill you. Viruses don't mean to kill you. They're looking for a host. They're looking for a body. So what they want to do is colonize your body. They're looking to colonize your body. So that's the danger of vaccines that we don't realize, that I haven't heard anybody discuss yet. What a vaccine does, see, when we have a sickness like a flu, let's stick with flu, everybody knows flu. Flu's a good example. The stuff that we know of that associated with the flu, like the fever, the redness, the swelling, etc., is the body's fight with the foreign agent. Once the fight is over, we assume that the sickness is gone. It's not. It's dormant in your body. So anybody that's ever had chickenpox has the herpes virus still dormant in their body right now. Anybody that's ever had shingles, that's why they say the highest risk for shingles later on in life is having chickenpox when you was a baby. Because the herpes virus is still there. But when you have the chickenpox, that's your body's natural immune system trying to push the virus out through the skin. So that's where the bumps come from, and if you squeeze them, that's the stuff coming out. That's why people with active herpes simplex 1 and 2, they can only spread it when they have what? The outbreak. Because now the herpes is actively on the skin because the body pushing it out. But other than that, the herpes is in their body the whole time. So you sharing cigarettes with them, sharing juices with them, drinks, slapping five. Hey, what's going on, fellas? All right, how you doing, fam? I ain't seen you since last week. Okay. All right. I don't do all that touching. I'm on the fist bump now. What's going on, God? All right. I don't know what you did last night. Hey, we ain't enjoyed it together. We're not gonna pay for it together. So, any foreign DNA or RNA is virus. It is virus. All right. So what the vaccines do is allow the viruses to go past your body's natural response system and just go straight to colonization. Like, you ever see them movies where they say, don't fight, obey. Don't struggle. It's easier for you. Just let it happen. It's the vaccine. Just let it happen. We're going to colonize your body whether you like it or not. So see, as more people move away from eating meat, they start to put more foods on the market that feed the viruses and parasites that's already in your body dormant. That's the heavy push with the soy, the heavy push with the high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup makes cancer cells multiply anywhere from 10 to 100-fold. So you got a lot of people eating salad, but they eat the salad and then they put the dressing on it. Dressing 95% high fructose corn syrup. It just got different colors. It's red number 40, blue this, so you think you got something different. You got fructose corn syrup mixed with soy. Every dressing. Soy and corn syrup. Alright? So we got to get that. Alright? Dysplasia is mutation of the black blood cells, or the original germ cells in the body. Carcinoma in situ. Basically, carcinoma is cancer. In situ means that it just hasn't spread to the surrounding tissues yet. Alright? Now, this part down here in the bottom, nobody can see really good, is just my little white blood cell ecology. White blood cellology, basically. And just adding a little bit more, because the more we understand white blood cells and them being foreign to our body, the easier we'll be able to keep ourselves healthy. Alright? When we look up white blood cells, there's 5 basic types: your neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil, lymphocyte, and monocyte. All right. However, what we don't know is that white blood cells are shapeshifters, like monsters from the movies. All right. They change shape, and depending on where they located, they give them new names. So if you look inside the liver, you got Kupffer cells. All right. Those are white blood cells. Microglial cells, those are in the nervous system, white blood cells. They hide it, waiting to pop out. Okay, they hide it, waiting to pop out. So you look in the lungs, you got alveolar macrophages. All right? Sinus histiocytes, those are in the spleen and lymph nodes. And the list goes on. And they all release poisonous gases. All right? Reactive oxygen species, nitric oxide, cytokines. Cytokines are interesting because cytokines mimic hormones, meaning they give cells instructions. All right, so you have white blood cells that can give your cells instructions, and your cells will be doing something other than what your body told it to do. Right? Haven't we seen that in the movie? The vampire look at you in the eye, look into my eyes, and then the vampire put you in a trance, and now you're doing what the vampire told you. Same thing going on inside the body with the white blood cell. White blood cell release cytokines. Look into my eyes. You will feed me. Matter of fact, you will become me. Okay? So we got to pay attention.